to this episode of Children's Church Online. It is great to be back with you, and we're going to be looking at the second part of our story to Jonah. Let's find out what happened to him. So without further ado, let's go over to our teaching section. As I said before, we're carrying on with the story of Jonah. We left off last time where the fish had left Jonah on the side of the land after he'd been in its belly for 3 days and 3 nights. So we're going to go over to the scripture. Again, I'm going to be reading from a child-friendly version. The book, chapter and verses that I'm going to be reading out of today are coming up on screen for you now. I would suggest parents and carers out there to go through this with your children, as it's great for us to get used to reading the Bible personally. So here goes with today's scripture. The Lord spoke his word to Jonah again and said, "Get up and go to the great city Nineveh and preach to it what I tell you to say." So Jonah obeyed the Lord and got up and went to Nineveh. It was a very large city. Just to walk across it took a person 3 days. After Jonah had entered the city and walked for 1 day, he preached to the people, saying, "After 40 days, Nineveh will be destroyed." The people of Nineveh believed God. They announced that they would stop eating for a while, and they put on rough cloth to show their sadness. All the people in the city did this, from the most important to the least important. When the king went to Nineveh, he heard this news. He got up from his throne, took off his robe and covered himself with rough cloth, and sat in the ashes to show how upset he was. He sent this announcement through Nineveh: "By command of the king and his important men, no person or animal, herd or flock will be allowed to taste anything. Do not let them eat food or drink water, but every person and animal should be covered with rough cloth, and people should cry loudly to God. Everyone must turn away from evil living and stop doing harm all the time. Who knows? Maybe God will change his mind. Maybe he will stop being angry, and then we will not die." When God saw what the people did, that they stopped doing evil, he changed his mind and did not do what he had warned. He did not punish them. But this made Jonah very unhappy, and he became angry. He prayed to the Lord, "When I was still in my own country, this is what I said would happen, and that is why I quickly ran away to Tarshish. I knew that you are a God who is kind and shows mercy. You don't become angry quickly, and you have great love. I knew you would choose not to cause harm. So now I ask you, Lord, please kill me. It is better for me to die than to live." Then the Lord said, "Do you think it is right for you to be angry?" Jonah went out and sat down east of the city. There he made a shelter for himself and sat in the shade, waiting to see what would happen to the city. The Lord made a plant grow quickly up over Jonah, which gave him shade and helped him to be more comfortable. Jonah was very pleased to have the plant. But the next day when the sun rose, God sent a worm to attack the plant so that it died. As the sun rose higher in the sky, God sent a very hot east wind to blow, and the sun became so hot on Jonah's head that he became very weak and wished he was dead. He said, "It is better for me to die than to live." But God said to Jonah, "Do you think it is right for you to be angry about the plant?" Jonah answered, "It is right for me to be angry. I am so angry I could die." And the Lord said, "Are you concerned for that plant, even though you did nothing to make it grow? It appeared one day, and the next day it died. then shouldn't I show concern for the great city of Nineveh, which has more than 120,000 people who do not know right from wrong, and many animals too? Throughout the story that we read today, the 2 chapters that we've gone through, and also the previous 2 chapters, we have read so much of God's love and God's mercy. And that is available to us at all times. And what I want to bring up is the scripture that we learnt last time on Children's Church, which is this: come near to God and he will come near to you. I want you to remember that God is indeed rich in love, rich in mercy for us. And we can come near to God and he will come near to us. So without further ado, we're going to finish up today with a craft linked in with this teaching. Hi, and welcome to this episode of Children's Church Online with your edition of Craft Corner. So we're going to get on with some crafting today. So you're going to need your pens, your pencils, some white card, and also some scissors. So assistance with younger children will be needed on this craft. If you have an A4 piece of white card, what you're going to need to do is fold it and fold it again and then cut it. So you're going to end up with some 4 small squares like this. Put 3 of the squares to one side at the moment and focus on one of them. And what you're going to need to do for your next stage is to draw something like this. So this is a drawing of a megaphone. So it's something that you would speak through to make a loud noise or maybe an announcement. So you can maybe draw like mine, or you could look on Google Images for something similar. The next stage of this craft is the really fun bit where you're going to decorate your drawing. So you're going to be able to colour it in, but also I want you to include the focus scripture, which is this: come near to God and he will come near to you. I have finished mine, so here it is. Ta-da! So I've used some pens and some pencils to colour it in to make it more lifelike, and I've also put on the focus scripture just in the corner, which is obviously the most important thing. And you've got some spare pieces of card today, so maybe it might be worth sharing this love and sharing this message with other people. Maybe make an extra one to give to somebody, to let them know that when they come near to God, God will come near to them. Thank you for joining me again on this episode of Children's Church Online with the edition of Craft Corner, and I'll see you again soon for some more Children's Church teaching. Bye bye.